the dark where the strange things flicker, Jennifer Hicks takes you in a little deeper.
Cryptids, UFO stories that chill, the truth's out there, and she's got the thrill. Welcome to creepy culture, where the unknown comes alive.
Hey, welcome to Creepy Culture. It's Jan. Thank you guys so much for being here. I went to the Land Between the Lakes last weekend with met up with Monsters Unleashed with Mike and Trisha and Andy and Crystal and several other people, and I had a really fun time. And tonight I had my son with me too, and I'm gonna have him and Trisha on tonight talking about what we experienced in the LBL. So I'm going to bring those two out. Hi, Trisha.
Hi. I'm doing good. I'm tired, but I'm doing good.
Oh, me too. I've been having headaches, and I am tired too. I haven't been sleeping good.
Yeah,
it's rough. But hold on a minute. I'm going to get him out. Hey, bud. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. Just tired.
Very.
Same.
All right. So we're going to talk about our little experience, our little weekend in the LBL, which is Land Between the Lakes. It really sits in the, what is that, the western side of Kentucky and Tennessee, right where the border is. And I had fun, but I'll tell you what, that is one creepy, weird vibed place. What do you guys think?
I would say it's unsettling. That's a be good word for it.
Yeah, I'm in it every weekend, so the weirdness is just kind of a norm for me, I guess you can say. But it's definitely a creepy place, and nothing in it sets right with anybody that comes to visit.
You weren't even lying when you said as soon as you hit that bridge, you can feel it, because you can, and everything changes. I had that vibe, and I also felt like I don't even know how to explain it. Unsettling is a good word, James. Carl.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's a good word. I had the creeps the whole time I was in there. So, did you?
I did. At certain points, especially when we were higher up in elevation, it seemed like on the ridges, more than other areas.
That's what I thought about it. I mean, there's pretty places in there. Like that little pond we went to is really pretty and stuff like that. So I like that. But it seems like after we left that one little place, everything was just icky. Icky feeling. It wasn't icky looking. It was icky feeling after that. So we went to, what's the first place we went to, Trisha? I'm sorry, I can't remember those names.
The first place, I cannot give out the name of the location, but
oh yeah,
that is where I just had my encounter on January 11th. So that was actually the first time I had stepped foot back into the LBL, was with you guys and at the location where I was face to face with this creature. So there was something there with us that day. I had a panic attack. I don't know if you guys were around me when that happened, but I had a really bad panic attack and had it, the filming had to stop for me, and I had to get away from the camera and stuff because it was there. It was there again. Couldn't see it, but I felt it.
I felt it something for sure. And then,
Go ahead. Sorry. I was going to tell you something that happened that day. James, remember when we heard, sorry, Carl, I'm thinking of the
It's fine.
Andy's name was James. And you remember when you were looking in the dirt where that tree had fallen over, the root of the tree? And I approached him and was like, "Did you find anything?" And then we heard that pig.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
That pig was right on the other side of where we were at.
It sounded like it was on the other side of the felled tree that was kind of right in front of us.
Well, my brother that was with us, he got a visual on it, and it was right just on the other side of that tree. So we were really close to that hog. Really
well, oh, was it only one, or?
It was just one. Just one.
That's odd.
Yeah. I sure heard that, and I sure skedaddled up out of there. It scared me to death. I was like, what in the world was that?
We just stood there, and I'm like, "Hey, we got pigs. We got pigs." And then we got out of there. But yeah, we were really close to that hog.
Yeah, it sounded maybe 30 feet away tops or something. It was really, really close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know I was sidestepping it back towards the truck. I can tell you that. I was like, oh no, because some of those things are huge, and I'm scared of those. Don't they have tusks and stuff, or something?
And they're really
I don't
aggressive.
know.
Really aggressive.
Yeah.
They will attack you, not think twice. Like usually it was. I've never been that close to a hog before, but I've heard stories where they won't even give you a warning before they like bluff charge you. They'll just like attack. So it was a blessing from the good Lord that me and Carl did not get attacked that day by this hog, because it was right there. So that's a good.
It was good. The tree was between us, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't a bad day if it wasn't.
He's just out there looking for rocks, and I'm just trying to keep eyes on him, because that's my son. So I'm trying to keep eyes on him. Next thing I know, we all heard that pig, and I'm like, what? No, I was out. I did find what looked like a footprint there. I wanted to show that real quick, because at the very end of it, you can see like there's claw marks in it, and it looks real similar to Trisha's awesome Dogman print that she got. But if you look up in the snow, you can see claw marks. Can you guys see those? Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, there was 3 of them, but this one was better because you can literally see the claw marks in the snow. That's what I think that is anyway. And it does look very similar to your awesome track that you got.
Yeah, it does have the same shape to it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good way to start the day, actually. That location.
Yeah, you guys finding that. It was good for you guys. Me, it was kind of traumatizing.
Normal.
I didn't feel.
Oh yeah, that too.
Feel good being there at all, and I think it was a little too soon. I thought I was gonna be because I planned the day for you guys coming in, and I thought I would be okay going back in, because I'm nothing really ever scares me, and if it does, I just I have a few days to be scared of it, and then I just blow it off. This has been really hard to shake off. So I plan to go there to show you guys and show my dad and walk you guys through what happened, and it took a lot out of me being back there, and it took a lot out of Crystal.
Yeah.
So she wasn't okay either, and I don't know when. As of right now, we don't plan on going back in that area for a while to investigate anymore. We'll pick a different location.
I don't blame you guys, because what the footage you got in there and what you saw, like you guys were looking eye to eye, and that is freaking terrifying what you caught. And actually, why don't you tell everybody where they can go watch that?
You can see the shortened version of the video in our member section on our YouTube page, just youtube.com/@monsters_unleashed. It is $3.99 for a membership, and that video is in it. Or if you want to wait, Sundays, the 15th, we will be going live, and I'll be telling the full story of what happened, and we will be showing the video and walking through people of moments prior, how it wasn't there, and then it was there. And this thing was very, very, very close to me. You guys both saw where it was at, and I showed everybody where I was standing, and it was really close to me, and it had every intention of harming Crystal, and I caught it.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was obvious to me that it was after her.
Yeah.
Immediately when I saw that video, I was like, "Who is that? Who just walked over there?" You could definitely tell that's what was going on. So, yeah, that's even though it was terrifying.
I pissed it off. I caught it and I pissed it off. And when I tell you that when I made eye contact, I was reading this thing's soul, and it was reading mine. That's how I was like I was froze to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not a fun time for any of us that were there at all.
No, and when we first got there, I didn't know that was the place. And honestly, I wasn't even thinking that was the first time you guys had been back in there since. So, yeah, I imagine that was traumatizing as all get out, because the whole event was not good, traumatizing too. So, yeah, but you did good though. And I liked seeing the area too. So thanks for taking us down in there.
Anytime. There's a lot more I want to show you guys.
Yeah, there's that place. I just, in that second place we went walking around, what was that, an old campground down in there or something? Some
Yeah, that was Rushing Creek. Rushing Creek is an old abandoned campground. They came in, they cut out the telephone poles. There's no power in there now, and they just erased this campground for no reason. Nobody knows why. And it's really weird. And supposedly it was like the most beautiful campground in the land between the lakes, and it's closed. So what happened? Why did they close it? That we're never going to get answers for that. Never.
No, but I think we all know why.
I think we all do know why. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know how far we walked. I know I didn't like walking up that hill, but other than that, we walked pretty far in there, and I didn't see any animals except for a couple birds, and it was very, very quiet in there, like way too quiet in there. And I thought that was a little bit strange. Did you guys?
Yes. Now, I've been to that area a few times, and I don't think I've ever seen really any animals. I may have seen like a couple squirrels, birds, but I know for a fact that the times that I've been in there, I've never saw a deer. I've never saw any other type of animal at all. That's where we caught our footage and photo of a Bigfoot. Like we went off to the right down that hill, and then my dad and everybody went straight. Now, if we would have went straight, that would have been the area that we caught our footage. But I chose to go right because, hey, you kept lingering to that right side. And
I was hard.
She's catching a vibe over there. And we had to do a follow-up on a report that we had got from a guy that something was circling his tent and it was blowing at him. So, he met up with us. He's down there, and he walked me through, not told me, but walked me through step by step what had happened. And I'm like, this ain't no animal. No animal's going to come back 3 times to the exact same spot and blow.
Uh-uh.
You know, that no animal is going to do that. So, and we're planning to investigate that during the nighttime in the spring. So maybe that could be something you guys come down for too.
That'd be kind of cool back there. Yeah, I didn't notice any animals. That's why I was going to ask, because you go in there all the time, because you're in there like every weekend.
Yeah.
I thought the lack of critters in there, I thought that was really weird, because it was really warm that day. It was like, what was the temperature, James? Like 60?
It was near it.
Yeah.
I know it got warm real quick, but I did happen to notice the lack of animals and how quiet it was, likely due to the lack of animals, but also the trees were full of woodpecker marks, where they had been eaten on the barks, as well as a bunch of squirrels, but I didn't see any woodpeckers or squirrels. So,
Yeah.
and we were out there for hours,
Yeah.
we hiked for a good ways. So, from the very top of the ridge all the way down to where we were into the campground area, which is quite a bit lower in the valley, there was no animals that I saw at all.
I didn't see nothing. And I was having bad vibes when we first got there. I went down that trail to the right. That whole area had my attention. Let's just put it that way. It had my attention. Yeah, it was creepy on that side for some reason. And then later on in the nighttime, we went somewhere else. I don't know if.
Yeah, we went to Colson Hollow. It's a group camp, and that's I've had a lot of activity out of there. Several people have gotten a lot of activity out of there, and it's just when you have a big group, it's a really good place to go to because it fits us all, for one, and two, like there's activity. To me, it's almost like guaranteed activity out of Colson. I don't know how like the other groups feel about it, but I do know that there are a lot of groups that go down in there and they catch a lot of activity coming from there, especially across the water on that ridge. I think there's like at least 2 or 3 of us that have caught howls coming out of that same ridge across the water. I know me and Mark Roberts, we were going over there trying to find feathers for marten one time, and we kept finding like crushed turtle shells. Just in
Was that where that was?
What? Where's what was?
The turtle shells. I remember you telling me about that before. That's where you guys were finding them?
Yeah, across the water on that ridge. Yeah. And then a few weeks, it's been a couple months ago, we had something that was thrown in the water late at night. I mean, it was so loud. So loud. This had been like a huge boulder that had been thrown in the water from that same ridge. And then, after that, it's like the activity just came into like our base camp area and was just circling us. And I caught that orb and stuff there. So that's why I chose that area, because I was thinking, okay, well, this is a good area. It fits all of us. We'll get some activity out of this. And I wasn't wrong. I mean, it wasn't activity like I usually have gotten out of there and other groups have gotten out of there, but we had something there. There was something there.
So, Carl.
Yes.
I want to tell what was. We had night vision goggles or binoculars. Night vision binoculars.
Yeah.
And did you have it in infrared mode?
I did.
Okay, so you could just go ahead from here and just say what you were looking at.
Okay, so once we got down into the it's a campground area, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got down there and it was already dark, and we had went out, and you guys stayed at camp. So when we got back, I was too cold, honestly, to leave the truck too far. So I was just using the night vision to mostly test it out, but also to scan the tree line after I scan the stars, which was my main motivation behind pulling the night vision out. But once the stars went away, unfortunately, I was able to start scanning the tree line, switch it to infrared, and I noticed what I assumed was pareidolia at the time, of course, and I thought also Bigfoot, just because it was quite tall. But there was a silhouette in the tree line across the water, just as she was just saying, across the water on that ridge. So I saw it. I took a picture of it and a recording of it, and then I would say 10 or 20 minutes passed before you came back to the truck, Jennifer, and to get warm. And I told you I saw pareidolia Bigfoot.
Yep, that's what he said. And I don't know if it's so cold because we were standing in snow or the wind or both, but it was I couldn't feel my toes for like 2 hours.
And I was so busy.
Bad.
I didn't even have time to like check my equipment or really investigate because I was just so busy making sure everybody was like okay and if they had any questions and stuff. So I was running around. And when you caught that, your mom runs directly to me and she's poking me on the back. She's like, Trish. Carl thinks that he got a Sasquatch on the night vision. And I'm like, really? So I go over there, and that's when you showed me, and I'm looking, and I'm like, that's not a Sasquatch. That's got really pointy ears, and it's standing really, really tall, which Sasquatches are tall, but they ain't got pointy ears like that. I mean, they were pointy, really pointy. Like pointy like that. Pointy.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the ears at first.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, like, zoom in on them, because I can see where you would have thought that it could have been a Sasquatch, but then when you zoom in, you really got a look of the head of it, and that was a good job on that, by the way. Really good job.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you did really good on that.
Well, I went to go prove that it was pareidolia after I told Jennifer here that I had seen it, and then I went into scan again to show her that it was, just a silhouette in the tree line, and the silhouette wasn't there anymore. So that's when I guess the camping turned into a investigation situation.
Yeah, basically. And I am not a researcher. I'm going to say that 100 times. I am not a researcher, but every time I go somewhere, stuff happens, or I see tracks or, stuff like that. So anyway, I end up investigating every time I go somewhere. But I'm going to play, guys, I'm going to play one of those videos.
Okay.
Where you first found it. Let me go grab it. Just give me a second, because you guys know I'm technically challenged. So
I just got to check on my child real quick, so I'll be right back. Let's keep my head out the door.
Okay. I need to tell him how to mute his mic.
Mm-hmm. When you guys left the LBL, did you guys get any dreams after you guys left, got home, got settled? Did you have any dreams?
I haven't slept well since. James is the one. Carl is the one.
You just call me James. It's fine.
I got to. I can't even. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's the one that has vivid dreams. But
I've been having really weird dreams lately, but I don't think they've been maybe so much related to our encounter.
James, I don't know which part this is. Is that the thing on?
My screen's a little obscured, actually, just because of the way it's fitting on my phone, so I'm only seeing a top part of the clip anyhow.
Just a second. Let me shift it, and I'll play it again. Is that better?
Okay. Yes. Okay. I kept adjusting the height of the binoculars because it would shine the light further out and illuminate the field more. So that's what you see happening there. Yeah, that thing was weird. Okay, so yeah, that's.
I don't know what that is. That's the one where it was only like one thing, right?
Right, there was like maybe standing and then crouching over and over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
it
one
was
that
weird.
freaked me out. That I thought it was like trying to
You think it
shapeshift or
was
something.
on all fours, maybe?
Something.
Yeah. It almost, I mean, it almost looked like, when a bear stands up to catch a scent, they'll get up on their hind legs and catch a scent. It kind of looked like that, but it was happening just over and over and over, but also was happening pretty quickly. Like, it would have just stayed up and kept smelling if it was going to keep, smelling. But it almost looked like when a like a video game character is like kind of glitching out a little bit. Like an NPC in a game.
Why.
And those, yeah, it was weird.
Now, was you watching this with your eyes, or was you just watching it in the camera?
Just through the camera because it was too dark without it to see that far out into the that opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
Which
gonna say,
again, this is with the so we're right centralized where this entity is. Right to the left of it is where the silhouette was in the tree line, and then right in the same exact location is where, which we'll explain a little further, is where the other two things were. So, for reference.
this was like 75 yards ish. What do you guys think? About the
I would say it's
distance,
probably
James?
close.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna play this one more time because it's 17 seconds. So
Okay.
you can,
No, it's right in the
this
middle of
is
the screen.
infrared.
Right?
You
Yeah.
can see it playing.
It's just such a weird. It's hard to keep that thing still too. So
Yeah.
yeah. Such a weird.
Okay.
Like
So
a
that's-
movement.
That's the one. And then I'm gonna go grab this other one. Give me a second. You can tell what this is.
Yeah, if I'm. You know what? Unfortunately, like I said, my screen is like cut in half here. How can
Can't see it.
I just can't. I'm missing the bottom like quarter or third of the screen. Unfortunately,
Oh, so you
is
can't
that the
see
thing?
it.
Same thing where the thing's moving up and down.
Basically, yeah. Because we're like, ooh, that's
Yeah,
creepy.
that's the one
'Cause
we're
remember, I
looking
was freaking out.
Yeah, because me and you were watching that together, right? Yeah, and it's
I
that
think
one was
after this
that was
is when I went and got Trish.
yeah, because that oh yeah, you're right, because I showed you that it was pareidolia in the tree line, which it ended up not being, and then right when I still had the binoculars loaded up and filming, that's when I just noticed this skinny weird thing right here. Yeah. So that all happened within minutes. And that happens to be the same exact location that the two similar beings or entities were located.
This is when I looked at you guys and said, "Hey, that guy just walked on that ridge over there. I need to go and get him because he doesn't even know." So we left. Me and my husband pulled out, and we drove that road. And I call you guys, and like I got two sets of yellowish green eye shine, and then we angled our Jeep and lit that field up with our light bar, and I'm watching it. Like I'm watching these two things, and they're not on all fours. Like there's not like a hill or something elevating the land right now. I'm seeing these things laying flat to the ground like a pancake with the yellowish green eyes. And then next thing you know, I watched the one just disappear. It just poof, gone. And I told your mom, I'm like, this thing just disappeared. I don't know where it went. We're coming back to base camp because I don't know if it's on my car, underneath my car, or standing behind us, or laying flat behind us. I don't know where it's at. It just went poof, gone. And as we came back into base camp, I never saw that second set of eye shine again. It was just the one. And that one, it just kind of like followed us its eyes just followed us as we drove back in. So
Yeah, from my angle, I could see them following you, like, because I could see, of course, from the side angle that you guys were in the vehicle to the right, of course, shining your light over toward them, which I thought it was your headlight, which it kind of was, but you were illuminating them pretty well to the degree where I could see them with my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was looking, it's just like you explained, where there was two of them. One of them, I thought maybe there was a hill or something in the way, and it just went down gradient a little bit, and I just couldn't see it anymore. But it could have very well just disappeared, like you said, because they were quick, whatever they were, and they were very low. They had mass though, but they were low to the ground and kind of skinny to be.
Yeah, like
that land is completely flat.
Yeah, and that was a completely flat, snow-covered field at that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
With a tree line.
And I don't know, but when I saw it disappear, I was like, "Oh no, we're going."
Yeah, when you guys started kind of getting in a panic tone, that's when I also was like, you know what, this thing's just right in the field in front of us, so it's not like there's much, stopping it from coming over here. And you were over there, and I was, well, you could very well scare it on accident, of course, right to camp, because you were up in the vehicle. So.
Yeah, and my son got sick. He got really sick, and this is also a location where my son, we were down there for a squatch out, and Martin Groves was with us, and Mark Roberts, and a bunch of other people, a bunch of great people. And Martin gave my son a book of his, and we walked to Martin's truck, and as we were walking to Martin's truck, my son sees something large and dark just walk towards the bathroom. So, he's been back since then, and he's been okay, but that night he was not okay. He saw something.
That's why he was upset, now that I think about it, Trish, because he had to use the bathroom, and he didn't want to go over there and use that bathroom, and he had to. So I think that might be why he got so upset.
Yeah. And I was up at that field shining my light on, so he was being, watched by his grandparents and, my brother, and he saw something. So I think he just kind of had a panic because he knew I was away from there and I was in this field, but I don't know where he saw something. I don't know if he saw it in the field or if he saw it on the left behind the fire in that ridge or up by the bathroom again or what, but my son can see these things. He can see these things better than some adults can see these things. And that's been something that I've been discussing with Donna Copus, is like the disability that my son has, and work with him on how to make him like not scared, how to control his fear and stuff like that. Because from what I've heard from you and what I've heard from my brother and what I've heard from Andy and Crystal about how my son got sick, yeah, I believe it could have been what he ate. But no, after that, this boy saw something for him to panic like that, for him to try to run out into the field towards me. He saw something and he tried to protect his mom. Look, I'm really jumpy because I've been jumpy since the whole encounter thing. But when I saw those things laying flat, I mean, it was like their arms were like this, like they were doing like that. And then the second one just poof, gone. Like, that's when I got panicky. I'm like, oh no, like I can't face this thing again right now. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Too soon. So that's why I was like, we got to get back to camp because this thing just disappeared in front of our eyes and we don't know where it went. I mean, it was like it was looking at us and then poof, gone.
Yeah, and you can see the eye shine on one of these videos. I'm going to get the next video. I think the next video is actually where you do light it up. And just for reference, James and I like to use the night vision to look in the sky for UFOs. So hunting cryptids is not our thing. We're sky watchers mostly, but yep, we do it all the time.
I think you caught something with that too.
I do too. Yeah, James, you're gonna have to look at that because I think you did catch something.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. It was real. It was real clear that night. So,
well, before you show this video, I don't know if I told you guys this, but a while back, after the squanch out, like their last night there, I wasn't there for this, but I was told the story. They were sitting around the fire kind of like we were, and I believe the lady's name was Elizabeth. I think so. She was out by the water looking at the other ridge and looking at some things, and Martin was there for this, and this light just appeared out of nowhere and lit up the whole entire campground. You guys saw how big that area was. It lit up the whole entire campground. And then the lady told me about 15 minutes later, there was Black Hawk helicopters flying very low with a spotlight on, like they were looking for something. And you know, we've also saw a random light and a random something flying, like zigzagging, like windshield wipers, very quickly in the sky above the same ridge where I've heard things, I've seen things. Now you guys have seen things, and other groups have seen things. So what are the odds of that?
I know, right?
So when you saw the light, was it obviously with the Black Hawk helicopter? It was nighttime, but was it also like springtime during or like fall?
No, it was in the fall.
It was in the fall. Okay. Mm-hmm. Just curious. Didn't you say there was a cemetery right behind the campground right there? Like if you went up the other hill? Okay.
There's a cemetery
over that ridge.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to play this video and see if this is the one. Sorry, guys, I don't know which video is what. Oh, this one's nothing.
Yeah, there was quite a few of them where I just started and stopped because her son was getting sick and upset right behind me, and I was trying to help with that too at the same time. So
bless his heart. I felt so bad.
I still feel like crap, but I was so worried about that guy that went up on that ridge. I was so
I don't know. Yeah, that was scary actually. I forgot about that guy.
This is where you went in, Trish, because I can see your lights.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I had pointed a laser at the general area that they were in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's
to guide her. So
yeah,
you could see those things out in the field.
And unfortunately, I was trying to aim a laser pointer with one hand and aim that with the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it like right there. And look, I'm a hunter. Okay, I've hunted ever since I was a little girl. And I've been in this area. I go in this area almost every time that I'm there. And there's not one time. Well, this is the first time. I know what deer look like.
Yeah.
That's not a deer. That was not a coyote. It was nothing standing on all fours. This was laying flat to the damn ground.
It was pretty broad too, like when it hit not profile, but when it hit actually where the center area mass of it was like a pretty bigger than you'd think. And maybe it's because they were sitting down so low to the ground, you'd think that they wouldn't be so big, but it was pretty big once it turned.
When I lit it up with the light bar, was you able to make out if it had any facial features or if it had like long, lanky arms or anything?
It was skinny and like lanky, for example. But like I said, like it had either just a big abdomen or like a wide chest, depending. But also it wasn't It wasn't like everything else we had seen was like a silhouette, but these were, the light would reflect back off of them. So they were either, just skin colored or just not silhouette in this instance. But
Wow.
and pigs in the area, the wild boar and swine, I looked up, they're all black, like with like the wiry black hair. And
Yeah.
also, pigs don't run from people typically, or they either run, or they run at you, or they act like you don't exist, and that's usually how they behave. But they
Yeah,
were lower to the ground than like a pig, even I would say.
this was lower than a pig. Like when I saw it, it was like I said, like flat, like a pancake, but it was large, and it was like flat like a pancake, and it seemed like the head of it was more slender.
Yeah, it was like smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't a pig, and it wasn't an animal. No animal that.
What it reminded me of was, like the Oriental style tables where they sit and have tea and stuff, but they don't use chairs. Forgive me for any. They look like that to me, like just in shape, like real low to the ground, but also we're on all fours, but just very low to the ground. Like if it weren't touching the ground, they only had an inch or two or clearance or something. So there would have been weird tracks the next day over there, but we just didn't for whatever reason go back and investigate further. But
yeah, well, you guys got this. This opens up an investigation for you two. So come on down, and I can assist, and I can get other people to assist with it as well, and go in guns blazing and figure out what this was, because I saw it with my eyes. You saw it with your eyes. This was not normal. This was.
Yeah, we were able to triangulate it between me and you. We sandwiched them. We're able to get eyes on them multiple times, and we had other people at camp too that were just witness to this, of course, but just weren't involved in the actual interception, I would say, I guess.
Right.
I'm gonna play this one last video and see what's on it. I forget. I should have labeled them what they were, but you know me.
Now I do like these infrared. That's a real handy thing to have out there.
Look at, yeah, there's two of them now.
Yeah, so that's that video. Okay. I was unaware that it had audio recording also, so hopefully I'm not saying anything too crazy.
Oh. That's Mike. Yeah, that's Mike doing a Bigfoot yell. They were playing frequencies and stuff too at this point.
They were doing a whole setup. Yep. You want me to shut the all door? See, that's when your son was getting sick.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
So was this before or after? This had to have been after we saw the things lying flat to the ground and the eye shine. Okay. So
because we got out of there shortly after.
Yeah, we left.
But it took a while to pack up camp too, because like you said, you had a lot of equipment out. So.
Yeah, I had a lot of food to pack up and propane and all that stuff. And
you were able to intercept the guy that was up the road, right?
Yeah, I was. He ended up meeting as you come around to go towards that field. He was coming around that little curve. He ended up meeting me there, and I told him like, "Yeah, we were going to get you. There's something in this field, and it was over by you, and you have no idea, what exactly it is." And I was in. So that was a blessing to be able to meet him at that exact spot, and I wanted to continue because it looked weird. And to be honest, we went over that way looking for what was in the tree line on all fours, and it looked like it was trying to stand up and then go back to all fours. That's why we went over there, was to look at that. And then we ended up seeing these two things. So
they were super creepy, just the way they moved.
They were.
I
And
can't even tell
I'm
what
not
I'm
scared
looking
by
at.
it much. You know, I never really, not to say it like that, but like I never really am a jumpy person. But on the way out of that area, it's a pretty long drive, and it was real snowy, so we were going slow. But on the way out of that area, it was I didn't even look out the windows. I was, scared. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you were doing in this video. That
I
looks
was
like
probably,
Trisha
this
coming
was probably
back.
one of the ones before. Oh, that's them coming back. Yeah, so that must be the. They went up the hill, grabbed the guy, I think, or intercepted the guy, and then on the way back down the hills when we saw the two. You know what we'll do is we'll obviously post a link or something to the videos, and when the video gets posted.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can
know what
also
you're.
increase the sound in it so that way you can hear the discussion that goes along with it. So, and
Yeah.
that would be awesome to do, especially with the things that were laying flat, because I was on speakerphone with Jen, and I'm
Yep.
telling her what I'm seeing, and you guys are like, yes, that's exactly what we're seeing. So I can take that video and increase the volume in it so that way, your audience could hear it better and they have a better understanding because they can hear us, discuss
Yeah.
what's happening at that very
That
moment.
that would be very telling of the situation too, because it's hard to put it in context. What
Yeah.
exactly was going on, but we were narrating it in real time between the three of us.
Yeah.
I would say. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to show
You
these
did good
pictures
work.
too.
Really good work down there, Carl. Really good work.
thank you.
Really
And
I'm a
did
seasoned
for.
expert.
I know the night
It did
vision.
catch that.
You have to like play around with the different brands of night vision you get because some of them are crappy, some of them are good. You're not going to get a good night vision unless you pay a couple
Yeah.
$1,000 for it, So,
Yep.
yeah, people are going to say, oh, well, it's grainy. It's grainy. Yeah.
It always is.
Yes.
Well, honestly, I bought those off of Amazon for like a little over $100, and
Right.
me and James use those literally to go outside and look at the sky for UFOs. That's all we do with them. So honestly, for James to catch what he caught, he did really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Well, thank you. And you'd have to add a couple zeros to the price tag if you wanted something with some, HD zoom capabilities or something. So,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe we'll get some, but
And we're
we didn't have them
amateurs.
that
We're
night.
not
So.
researchers. Let me say that one more time. We are not researchers, me and James. We are just
they're
people
low key turning into researchers, though.
no, we're
Right. Not yet. We're not.
no.
Well, I don't know. We went to a field and we researched, so I guess that qualifies.
I guess it does, but I honestly was shocked that I was seeing what James was showing me on those binoculars. I'm like, what in the world? So he got some still photos too, and I'm going to show a couple of those real quick. So there's that. You can see something standing in the wood line.
Yeah, it's darker than the rest of the.
Yeah, right in the middle of the screen.
And that's across that same field.
Here's another picture. And this is like 75 yards away, zoomed up. So sorry about how grainy it gets, but I had janky binoculars. So there it is again. And then this last picture of it, Mike ran it through a filter and tried to clean it up a bit. And that's really something solid standing there. It's not a shadow. So you can literally see that this has pointed ears on the top of its head.
It was tall too. It's hard to see for the context, but yeah, those were. I mean, I would say, 7 to 8 feet at least.
Yep.
Yeah, 7. I would say if a house is. I'd say about 7. 7 feet. That's why I thought it was Bigfoot too. Because first off, I'm not familiar with Dogman, so I just didn't know. But also,
Right.
it was quite tall, and I was out looking for Bigfoot. So in my head, that's just what it was. But it was if you're familiar with Vanta Black, you ever heard that term? It's like a scientific. It's a scientist made a black that's blacker than all. It absorbs 100% light, so it's just blacker than anything. You put it next to a black car, and it looks like a black hole, and that's kind of what the silhouette here looked like, because it was just so much darker than the rest of the ambient shadows in the area.
And the form of it, how it just, arms and the legs and the ears. And so I'm not saying, like we were talking about behind stage, not saying it's anything, but it looked like
sure
something.
does
It was
favor
anomalous.
a certain thing.
Yeah, well, and it's
That
a
sure
humanoid
does.
shape, which is hard to get in nature in general. So
Yeah, because that's not like a deer or a wild hog or, I don't know, a fox or a coyote. That is humanoid standing on legs. It looks like, what I can see is like a leg and a torso and a head with ears on it. That's
broad
what I'm
shoulders.
seeing.
Yeah, very broad shoulders.
Yeah, it's got Well, and then also just to reiterate the point, the chances of us seeing animals at night compared to seeing, I saw maybe a dozen birds in 12 hours in the forest during the day.
Right.
And that was it. I didn't see a single squirrel or anything.
Right.
And I was looking. I was looking the best anyone could look, scanning the ridge lines and all that.
Yeah.
And I was in the creeks looking for, I just didn't see a single animal. For us to see all the animals we were going to see that day at nighttime within a 10-minute, 15-minute window of each other is,
And like I was just telling my father this, and I was talking to a couple other people. There's not been one time that I've been down there and I haven't saw any deer. There's usually, especially on the field, like as you're going out, there's like a field to the right, on the right side of the road. That field is always full of deer. I've never, and I've got videos. Every time I came through there, there's been at least 3 deer in there, sometimes more. We've been in there, and there's been like 10, and there was none. There was no deer. And I'm like, well, they're not even going to get to see the deer that I'm talking about, because that's how much they've been in there, and I've seen them in there. I can tell people, oh, yeah, you're going to see some deer in the field. There was none that night. There was none.
right.
And the structure.
I thought it was weird.
Yeah. But the way that thing was standing there, the shape of it really resembles what I saw a few weeks ago.
It definitely does.
There's some differences, but there's more similarities to it.
I still need to see that footage, actually.
You didn't even see it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was waiting on the town hall situation, and then it, so I didn't get around to it, but I'm gonna go check it out though. If you want to send it to me, or I'll just go to the website there.
I didn't share my story at that town hall meeting, and I've got some people like, you should have. No, I sat there and I read people, and there was people in there that I did not get a good vibe from, that could have. I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't feel good around some of those people in there, and I didn't feel safe telling my story in there, so I didn't. And I wasn't even going to tell it on our YouTube channel, but I need to tell it, because people need to know. People need to be aware of this, and it could help other researchers with their research. And that's just why I didn't share it that day. And I've been called names for not sharing it that day, but I don't care. It's what happened to me, and I didn't feel comfortable. There was people in that meeting that should not have been in that meeting, and I didn't want to risk it.
I don't blame
Well,
you.
had you shared it, you still would have got some kind of, you got people say, "Damned if you do and damned if you don't." So
Yeah, yeah. Amen to that. That's exactly how it is.
Yep.
But I'm telling you now, if you look at that photo and you watch
Man.
that video that I have, and you are
It's
still
crazy.
in denial, there's something
Right.
wrong with it. There's
but it'll help you
enough.
process by sharing it too, because you're obviously been affected by it. So
Yeah, I've had the nightmares just stopped. I was having really bad nightmares, and here recently they've stopped. So I don't know what I'm doing differently, but thank the good Lord they've stopped because they've been really bad. They've been really bad.
Yeah. We noticed when we were down at that campground that Andy's phone went dead, or a piece of his equipment went dead. And me and James were talking about that on the way home from the LBO, and we kind of nerded out on the way home. So we were, basically trying to figure out why something. Well, that's what started it, was batteries going dead while we were in there. So, James, you want to touch on what you researched up?
yeah. So when we first got into the, we were in the truck with Mike because we rode in together, and one of the first things he did was, as soon as we got over the bridge, he got his walkie-talkies out, and he was having them tested. And excuse me. And the first thing he did was he said he started complaining about his walkie-talkie was dead, and that it was a brand new battery that he just had got. And I immediately thought that I think I even asked him out loud. I said, I wonder what the bedrock and the soil composition is in the area, because that's just where my mind went with it. So then that was the very first thing in the morning. So fast forward to where we're on our way back out, and I just started Googling, because I had time on the way home, of course, to see what. Oh no, actually, we went to the visitor center, and in the visitor center they had a little like walkthrough museum situation, and I noticed in the museum information it had what the bedrock was made out of, which was like limestone and magnetite and so on. So I was like, actually, I bet that's exactly what's going on, is that there are geomagnetical anomalies in the area. So then I started researching, and of course that's true. But it's a known thing, scientifically, of course. But when I try to connect it to that, if you want to show the picture, actually, if you want to show the one where the vertical lines are going through the map, it's just going to be a picture of Kentucky with the, and this is this year's geomagnetic field map. You'll see that the LBL, the gravitational waves, just avoid it like the plague almost. Everything else is all vertical, and you'll see the LBL is a very high intensity area of gravity.
Hold on, I can make that bigger.
Yeah, so you can
A
see
little bit.
Yeah, so you see
See where it gets real wide?
Yep.
Yeah, I see.
So that is and so the blue lines are the gravitational waves that they use for GPS and all kind of things. So typically you get like 70 when you get to the poles, right? Just to try to keep it simple. When you get to the poles, you're at like 70. I forget what they call them. It's Tesla hertz or something like that. But that's what the gravitational force is at the top. Is 70,000. So, and then usually you have like background gravity in these other areas. They're like 20,000 or 30,000, but the LBL is sitting at the same, like 70,000. So it's double the amount of gravity than the surrounding ambient area. And so what that can do, of course, is corrupt your data, drain your battery, where you'll have anomalies in your footage, malfunctions, all those kind of things. But then as far as human perception goes, you can have what's happened is so there's a big rift line right underneath the rivers, and it's called the Real Foot Rift Line. So that's a tectonic pressure that's hitting the substrate, the bedrock. And what it's doing is, which is all silica and quartz. So I don't know if you know piezoelectricity. You ever heard of that?
I've heard a little. I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it.
So what it is when you rub quartz together or you put force on quartz, it'll make light, or, well, yeah, just light typically. And actually, your grill, when you hit the little button and it clicks, that is piezoelectricity. So that's just this little striker that hits quartz and makes a spark. So that's happening underneath LBL, but on a huge scale. So all the water from both lakes are pushing inward towards the bedrock of the peninsula, which is all quartz and silica and iron. And what it's doing is putting up infrared sound. It's like infrasound. And what that is putting out is 19 hertz from what I looked up. And that will do to a person, especially on higher peaks, like the middle of the day we went on the hike, it'll induce a panic, a sense of someone being watched. It also can mess with your, it'll give you like vision distortion. So all that coupled together is exactly why you're having anomalies in the area, and why you're always feeling like you're being watched, and why it's so quiet up there. Because a lot of migratory birds and predators they'll avoid that area because of that. It's like a dog whistle kind of situation.
Right.
So that might be that could account for the lack of animals in the area, but also why your batteries are draining and you're feeling weird. And I even looked up where the so we have magnetite in our brain. It's not enough to get us like looking like we're about to be like birds and fly south or whatever, but it is enough to so we were at Clay Bay, right? Is that kind of where the campground was in that area?
No,
I don't know.
Where Colson and Clay Bay?
Russian Creek.
Russian Creek.
Well, yeah, but the campground in Colson, right? Isn't it kind of close to the Clay Bay area, or am I mistaken?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking at all the different times. So there we were looking north, and that's where we saw the creatures where all the footage is from. And then also on the ridge line, me and Jennifer kept looking off to that one. You said she was like looking off to the right for that downwards path in the campground. That was the north. So every time we got a weird feeling and kept looking somewhere, it was to the north. So it could just be that we were literally looking north because of the intensity of the gravity right there.
Did you start looking that direction before we come through that gate, that first gate?
Me?
Yeah. So the right side of the hill the whole time was on my radar. So
from the parking area, you guys immediately was drawn to the right.
To the right. Yep.
And there's a road that goes down to the right.
Yep.
That is Jones Creek when you go down in there. That is where we got that Dogman photo and had that rock and stuff thrown at us. So there's a lot of activity down there as well too. But this whole thing that you're talking about, have you found anything that could relate it to like the government building these dams? Because that's why they built these dams, was for the hydroelectricity stuff.
Right. Well, I haven't yet, and I'm still researching. I have a whole, I have pages and pages of data that I'll send to you so you can read over it too.
Yeah.
And then it makes everything kind of make sense, honestly. But I just today started getting into the old mines in the area and the furnaces and the connection with the Tennessee Valley Authority, which is a whole rabbit hole that's interesting. But
yeah, it is.
I'm just getting into it, so I have to come back on and share my findings when I finally get it all.
Did you say mines? Like mines? Like
yeah, mines. Yeah, like they mined iron out of the area because it's so iron rich. Yeah, so for a long they took or thousands of tons of iron out of there. So the gravitational field would be even stronger had they not taken all the iron out, of course, but it's still very strong, double the normal gravitational.
Can I show that one map?
Oh yeah. Go ahead and show the colored one.
Yeah.
It'll kind of show you. Yeah, go ahead. It'll show you the same kind of thing where right there in the LBL you're going to get a strip of really intense geomagnetic.
This is a thermal map I was talking about. And you can see where the LBL is. See how it's red right through there?
Yep, I'm looking dead at it. Yep.
So all the blue zones are very low, like voids, pretty much of gravity, and then all the high points will be the red, pinks, and so on. So you can see even Ohio. You can see in the picture there, right where we live, but it's got a red spot, like a little dot. But yeah, but back down to the LBL, it's a very unmistakably high intensity gravity area. So.
Wow, that's interesting. That's
well,
really
yeah, and that corresponds with the other map, which you'll see. They're pretty much showing the same thing, but anytime you have caverns or mines or any voids that are in the earth, you're going to get a low, like a dip in gravity. So if you could zoom into that, which you can't hear, I'll get a better resolution photo for next time. But if you had sensitive enough equipment, you could go in and find all the mines and stuff, just because you'd be able to see the dip in gravity at that point.
Well, I've got to believe I have a piece of equipment that can do that. So this right here could prove that there is mines, or not mines, but caverns in there, caves.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because there's people that say, oh, there's no caves in the land between the lakes, and then you have people that say, oh, there are caves in the land between the lakes. So if this information that you have just found, which is fascinating, this proves that there has to be caves in the in the lakes.
There is.
Well, it's like naturally occurring, or the old mines are still there. They might have collapsed the entrances for safety reasons and stuff, but the guts of them will still be there, and they had to have been huge because they took so much ore out of there that I would say, yeah,
I think to find
it's
out
all flooded. I'm sure.
Where they would have been. Yeah, well, that's true too. They could all be underwater.
The water table there is really dense because it's obviously between two rivers there, or two lakes, if you will.
I just want to find these caves. I hear so many stories about these caves, and I've been all over, and I haven't found anything that looks like a cave or a mine. But I know there's a lot of wells that are just randomly like scattered out through the woods, and you have to be really careful walking through some of the areas, because you could one wrong step and you're down, put down in the damn well. So
I was reading actually in my research about sinkholes. There's a bit like reports of sinkholes throughout the last 30 years anyway, but which is terrifying to think about, but also that corresponds with voids in the earth, obviously.
Yeah.
I heard a Bigfoot encounter one time from the LBL, and the guy was in a cave. Or I will find it because I know where I heard it at. I'll go through and find it, and maybe he'll give his area of the LBL where he was at.
There's also a story in Martin's book about a creature in a cave that had children with a woman. They made two giants, and they're actually buried somewhere in the LBL. I don't know where they're at, and I won't go looking for them. That's not my work. That's Martin's work, and I respect him a lot. So I don't trample on any of his stuff. But yeah, there are several stories of these caves, like the one you just heard. I think I know the one you're talking about because it sounds familiar. But then there's another one where there was two teenage boys that went missing, and a park ranger went looking for them, and I guess the park ranger saw a Dogman, and they ended up at a cave. And there's a video about it on YouTube, and I can get that and send it to you. But they were found by a cave in the south end of the land between the lakes. So, like I said, I've not seen them, but I think it's a very good possibility that they are in there. And according to that map, there has to be something like that's causing that.
Just and I'm pretty sure that dude's encounter was after they flooded it. So he was definitely saying there was caves there. And I'll try to find that and send it to you so you can maybe get an idea where he was at. And
Yeah.
also, that thermal looking map, what'd she do? Lose it? Oh, there she goes.
I'll tell you what, though, you need to get a hold of some old moonshiners in the area, because that was such a big thing in the LBL. And if you're sneaking around the woods trying to not be caught, kind of like Bigfoot or other, you probably know all the best spots and you've seen the caves. And because a lot of time you'd utilize a cave, especially if it had water coming down, to cool your still anyway. You know, you wouldn't have to set up a water supply if you had that. So.
And that thermal map, James showed that to me on the way home over the LBL, how it was red and orange, pink or whatever. And I'm like, James, check the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And of course, you know, that's notorious for Bigfoot up there. Dogman as well. And it was also red and pink. So I told him to check, you know, state forest, you know, the Allegheny in Pennsylvania, the Adirondacks in New York, even around our area, Wayne National Forest and stuff like that.
Pine barrens.
The pine barrens are red.
Yep.
They got red and pink in them too. So.
Did you check Daniel Boone? I'm sure Daniel Boone is red.
Yeah.
It is.
Like I said, I have that property right next to it, so I've heard stuff about Red River Gorge area and stuff.
It's got red marks
just growing
too.
up. So, it's red.
Basically, all the national parks are red or pink, and I find that confirming my little theory about these national parks and stuff being. I'll just tell you, I don't care if I sound crazy or not. I think they're containment areas that the government made them to keep things like that in. You know, so
that's so funny you said that, because I was driving, and this has been about it's been a little while ago. But I was driving with Trace, and we stopped at Empire Farm, and I was looking at that house, and I looked at Doug, and I was like, why did they rush these people out of this house? The water doesn't even come up this level. Even if it just doesn't come up to this elevation. Why would they rush these people, make them leave their house? And then next minute later, I'm like, I'm telling you why. This land between the lakes is a big-ass terrarium. They're keeping these creatures, and they don't close it down to the public because we're its food. We're its food source. And along with the bison that's in there, and the elk, and the hogs, it's got food. But I agree with you, Jen. I think these parks are containment places for these creatures.
Well, I told you that was my gut feeling when I was there. I told you that I felt like it was defiled, that it was very negative, and I felt like it was a whole ass experiment for the government there. That's what it felt like to me. That's the vibe. So
I won't talk on it too much, but what me and Donna, I've been saying for a while now, that area I'm tracking, I'm on to something. I'm on something big. I've said it on our show to my dad. I've talked to it about, and with a few people, that I've got a pattern going on in there. And when I took Donna in there and we saw what we saw, we both she said it, and I'm like, this is what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying. There's something going on here. So that was something else.
I think so. James, did you have any more to add?
Just to add to that real quick. In my research, I actually have notes here that are kind of that go along with that. The gravitational anomalies would be pretty much barriers to either keep things in or keep things out. As far as anything that has the magnetite in its brain, which would be migratory animals or prey, like predators, I mean. So like anything that you would use that
Mm.
kind of navigational situation.
Is this like an
So
invisible
that would be
fence situation? Is that what you were saying?
well, you can see it on the map with the blue vertical lines. That it's
Yeah.
literally, yeah, just an inclusion zone or an exclusion zone, depending on how you.
That
It's
is
either keeping shit in or out.
That's fascinating. It's almost like that's crazy.
Well, and the
It
thing
feels
about that too that's interesting that I just thought of is you have all these zones like the Pine Barrens, and then you have just these. They're geographically so different, especially the Pine Barrens, because that's not full of iron underneath it and quartz and all that because it's just real fine sand. Different substrate composition. So I don't know where that leads to exactly yet, but it's just something that crossed my mind is that it's not exactly the bedrock that's going to make all the difference when it comes to gravitational waves because they're so different in New Jersey to Kentucky substrate wise. So
In Michigan
that's
too.
interesting too. Yeah, right. Yeah, because
Michigan's
it's
way different. The Upper Peninsula it's probably sandy too because it's on a beach line, up that way.
right. Yeah,
Have you guys
compared to
ever watched
mountain.
that movie? I believe it's called Cabin in the Woods. It's got the guy that was it Chris Hemsworth that plays Thor, and they drive through this wall or through the tunnel, but they can't drive back out of it. And this tunnel is like a invisible wall that's got creatures entrapped behind it in this cabin. Have you guys seen that movie?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, but in my research too, there's it's like a window for paranormal anomalies and occurrences, and that's people. I was reading that people groups similar to us, I guess actually, but are drawn to places like this whether they know if it's a gravitational anomaly or not. But a lot of people do flock to these places because there are a higher occurrence, and it's because the gravitational flux in the area is just advantageous for all kinds of phenomena, which would be I didn't mention it before, but I mentioned the rift zone right underneath of Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's putting all the pressure tectonically to where the LBL has earthquakes quite often. Apparently, the last biggest one was I think September 22nd of last year, and it was a 4.3, which is a pretty sizable earthquake. But what happens there is you'll get light phenomena, like earthquake lights, if you've ever heard of those, and you'll get plasmoid
Pillars?
diffusion. So it'll be like little. You ever seen ice or like I guess oil on a skillet where the oil will drop on the skillet and it kind of just like runs away from the heat? You'll see that be plasmoids, so little balls of light or big balls of light in some instances. So it kind of explains, not to say it debunks or anything, but it goes right along with all the sightings and all the strangeness in the area. So it's good to have all this data to back up, the scientific end of it.
About the magnetic stuff with portals too.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's necessary for a portal to form, right?
Oh yeah. To have if a black hole or a portal to form, you'd have to have a gravitational spike. But then it's mostly material science, but that's a different situation. But maybe a different podcast, a different day. But all the gravitational effects are lining up to be right on par with what everyone's experiencing. I'm sure anyone that's had an encounter in the LBO will, if they read and see the data that I put forth, the light bulb will go off in their head because it's the panic, the yourself being watched, that kind of feeling. How quiet it is because the infrasound that's coming up through the tectonic pressure, and it's all because they did dam off the area and make it an anomaly in itself. Because nowhere else is there a inland peninsula between two lakes that's got that much pressure and that much magnetite in one area. So, and the quartz, I think, is a big thing to remember too, because like I said, you get piezoelectricity from quartz. So it's always being ground under the ground. It's just a huge battery. You got iron, you got quartz, you have acidic soil from the upper leaf degradation and all that. So it's a one big battery. The peninsula is one big battery, pretty much.
You know, I lived here in September of last year, and I don't remember hearing
Earthquake
or reading anything about an earthquake.
Yeah. Just a quick Google, because I was looking it up, because just during my research today, I was like, you know what? I bet it's a seismically active area because it's on the New Madrid fault line. It's part of that rift. So, and when I looked it up, the first things that popped up was, I don't know, probably 20 or 30. The whole first page was like old articles from that time. I think it was. I told her on the phone. I think it was like it was the end of September of last year for sure. And it was a 4.3 on the Richter scale, so pretty high magnitude.
Huh. I'm about to Google it.
That's some good info. Great work.
I know.
Thank you.
You'll have to come on our show now and tell everybody.
Well, yeah. What I'll do is I'll get a presentation together and I'll get all the information, and I'll be more prepared, of course, because this is just a footnote in the episode here. But I was like, this deserves its own, its own episode, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely wanted to tell you about it because while I did mention it, Mike, like I said, Mike was like, my walkie-talkie batteries are out, and I'm like, what's the Earth made out of? And it just went from there. But I figured that's what it was, and I was like, I gotta get my paper together on the way home, and then run it by you so that you could know, because you're in the area researching, so you're the one that should be in the know. And I figured it would connect a lot of dots for you too.
Yeah.
And it's something to be on the lookout for, or just to keep in the back of your mind there. It's like when you see something anomalous, that it could be geographically associated.
There's definitely weird stuff in there, though, for sure. Jeezy Pete.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird that all of the places that are cryptid hot spots are showing up hot on that map. You know,
yeah, it's not a coincidence. That's for sure.
Sure isn't. I didn't think so either. But yeah, thanks for looking all that stuff up. I think that is also pretty cool.
I love doing it, so it's not a problem. If I make any
out
other
all the way
connections,
home.
obviously I'll include everything I can, and I'll dumb it down. Not to say that our viewers are dumb or anything, but I'll dumb it down as much as I can, because not everyone's trying to hear.
You got to dumb it down for your mom.
Right. Well, make it more digestible at least, because there is a lot of technical jargon in here. So.
Yeah, there is. I'm going to look at this picture one more time. You guys look. And that is filtered. And there's definitely
that's
something
the one Mike
solid
filtered,
standing
yeah.
there. And that's just crazy, because that's the first time we've ever been there. And look at all the weird things you caught just randomly.
Yeah.
With the binoculars,
And at that, the Colson, I believe that's what the name of. That's not on a high ridge line or anything. It's right there at the bridge, water level.
It is. Yep,
So a lot of the gravitational anomalies are probably not as an effect right there. Another thing to note, real quick, solar. We're in the solar maximum right now, and we had that weekend. We had a huge Earth-facing CME solar flare. So when a coronal mass ejection hits Earth, especially a really strong one, it's going to affect the gravitational field even more. So, and we're in a 9-year, or is it? I think it's 9 years, but we're in the solar maximum right now. So.
Oh, what was the thing with the 9 years?
Well, I said if you looked at the solar, you could probably overlay the solar maximum, which is every 9 years, I believe, to every 9 years exactly. There'd probably be an influx in sighting. I have yet to go look at that, but I would put money on it that it goes in cycles. You have a quiet-ish period for 9 years, and then you have the solar maximum pop up, and then you'll have 9 years of increased sightings.
So that's why everything's just coming out. Like,
Yeah.
all at once.
Right.
It's crazy in there right now.
It is.
That's our my first experience.
Not just with
and
me.
That's what I would expect in.
I mean, you got Mike Smith and Martin. They just had an encounter somewhere in there that he drew a picture of what he saw. And there's other groups that are going in there. Well, you heard the one guy we were talking to, what he's been experiencing going in there. And then, I mean, it's just, these things are just, they're just swarming at us in there now. And it's terrifying, to be honest. Like, I will come face to face with a watcher any day. But what I came face to face with that night,
yeah, I'm excited to see that footage, actually.
That changed something in me.
It makes you know dogmen are real. If you ever had a doubt.
Well, and that's what I was saying was, like, even though, I was telling my dad this, even though we got the photo of Ed, I didn't see Ed. You know, my dad saw Ed move. I didn't see it. Okay.
Right.
So I was still skeptical of Dogman. I've seen a lot of Dogman photos come out of LBL. Still skeptical. That night, any ounce of skeptic that was left in me is gone. It is gone. And no, it wasn't cloaked. And no, it wasn't, you know, whatever, however you want to say it, cloaked, transparent, or whatever. This thing was physically standing face to face with me.
Well, the scary part about, and I'm not I'm new into the cryptid kind of paranormal thing here, but scary part about running into a dogman compared to any other entity out there is that you never hear of dogmen being nice. Sometimes you hear stories about Bigfoot and they are helpful, are just peaceful, or they don't really have a threatening aura. Sometimes, I mean, usually it's a terrifying experience for people, but you never hear the dogmen seem particularly malicious.
Everybody describes them as evil. That's the first thing that will come out of their mouth.
Yeah, evil or demonic.
Demon.
And that night, like when I was like froze there, because I was like froze. I heard something tell me, something spoke to me. I heard it, and it said, "Go, get out of here." And at first, I'm like, did this dogman didn't mind speak to me? But then, I sat down and I'm talking to Donna about it, and I'm like, that wasn't a dogman that told me that. And Donna goes, no, it wasn't. I'm like, that was a watcher that told me that. So somewhere nearby, there was a watcher. Because a dogman ain't gonna tell you, go get out of here. It's just gonna kill your ass.
I doubt it would tell you very much anything. Eat your ass up. Yeah.
Exactly.
They don't be hiding. They don't hide like Bigfoot. They come out. You know what I mean? I feel like.
Well, they ain't got nothing to lose. Then I would think, Bigfoot have something to lose because if they are out in the open and found, and they're because they have families and shit like that. So I assume. So they got something to lose. You track it back to its home, then it's got something to lose. But if you're demonic dogmen or whatever they are, you probably ain't got much to have to worry about. You can be pretty bold in your actions. Another thing is with the real quick is the dogmen. The first time I heard about them really kind of was when we were talking about the LBL here last week. So immediately when I saw a picture of the dogman, I said that it looked like an Anubis, right? Or like the Egyptian god. And then I was looking up at the Egyptian god, of course, because that's how I work. But they're the watchers of great burial sites of the dead, and the LBO happens to have just 270 something cemeteries.
Yep.
Yeah. So
listed. There's way more that's not listed.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Yes.
interesting that a canine type entity reminded me so much of the Egyptian god for watching over the dead, and there happens to be just so many dead to watch over in the LBL, and you have all this anomalous gravitational, it just all kind of fits together into a weird but cohesive puzzle somehow.
This is a book of all, well, almost all, of every listed cemetery in the Land Between the Lakes. I have found cemeteries that are not in this book.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure there was a bunch lost to, in the rush to get out, and the Tennessee Valley Authority don't exactly keep great records. They're known for
Yeah.
that. So
No, they don't.
I was looking into them. They're just a horrible organization. They got their own police and everything. And again, that's probably something for a different episode. But yeah, they got them, and they have their own authority and everything. They can put you in jail. And it's crazy how much authority they have. But
It really is.
in the name of land preservation and all that kind of thing, they just evict people out of their land all the time.
Look at Deb's lake house.
Yeah.
A tree died in her yard, and it was just a small tree. It wasn't like some big, huge tree. It was dead in her yard, and they wouldn't even let her finish cutting it down. And the wind blew half of it down already.
That's government overreach for you.
It really is, because that's ridiculous. It was kind of far from the dock. You know what I mean? It wasn't like on the water line. So, yeah, they wouldn't even let her cut the rest of her tree down that died, and the top part fell off. So, I get what you're saying. But anyway, that's what we saw in the LBL, and that's how we felt while we were there. And that place is freaking weird. That's all I know.
Yeah, be sure you link the like I said, we'll clip the videos and put them in the what do you pin them to the post? I'm not sure how it works, but
I don't either.
You'll be able to post them for viewers to go look at.
You're talking to Miss Technically Challenged here. I'll have to probably have Trisha or Mike help me with linking those videos somewhere. I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, just so the like I said, the audio provides so much of the context for that sighting. So definitely something that the viewers will have to see.
Send them to me. I can increase the volume, send them back to you, and you can post them.
Okay.
I'm probably heading out of state for that day tomorrow, but I'll get them done for you at least by next week.
That's fine. Just take your time. It's not a big deal. But thank you for sitting in, Trisha, and thanks for coming on, James. Appreciate you guys.
Carl.
And Carl.
I'm just kidding. I do. Thanks for having me, and I do plan on a future episode, perhaps coming on and presenting more of this this research I'm doing. So I look forward to that as well.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting facts there.
It is. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, well, it's something fresh too, because your Bigfoot people and people in the community, they never get tired of hearing about Bigfoot and stuff. But at least it's something to, maybe they haven't heard as well. So it's just I don't want to say groundbreaking, pun intended, but it's interesting nonetheless, and it definitely has a connection.
It is. That map really is interesting, especially where all the hot spots were. And that's what he was talking about in the car. He was like, it's red over here. And I'm like, check the rest of the parks, and they're all red.
It all checks out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look up the, just as a side note, I'm going to look up all the, I'm going to find some caves in the area. I'll go ahead and start researching that as well.
I know there's caves in there. I've heard more than one story about caves being in the LBL.
There's so much underground water there that there have to be caves, just channels, throughout. So, but yeah, I'll look into that and I'll get that research back to you guys too.
All right. Well, thanks you guys, and thanks for listening to us nerd out and tell about the LBL. So we'll have to check that out some more. Of course, we'll be down eventually soon, but wait until it gets warmer, because man, it was so cold. Mm-hmm. It was bad. I don't even know how. But anyway, I'll go ahead and do this. Hold on. I'm just gonna put you guys backstage in this video, okay?
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
In the dark where the strange things flicker, Jennifer Hicks takes you in a little deeper.
Cryptids, UFOs, stories that chill, the truth's out there, and she's got the thrill. Welcome to creepy culture,
Where the unknown comes alive.